again, the response to this one has been absolutely overwhelming. So we know we're on the right track with the right subjects, the right content when we have the kind of response that we have had this time. I'm excited to continue to see people trickle in. So I would not be a nerd if I didn't start kicking us off with a little background and some statistics. And you can see this over here, right, Tom?
Yep.
Got it. Cool. So welcome everybody to LinkedIn Recruiting, a step-by-step tour of one of the most powerful platforms in the world of professional networking and social media, and that is LinkedIn. So I'd be remiss if I didn't start with a meme. Anyone who knows me knows I loved the movie Napoleon Dynamite. So Recruiter added me on LinkedIn, so I guess things are getting pretty serious. I love this one. We know that LinkedIn is a great place to network professionally. It has absolutely blown up during the pandemic. Hopefully we're on the tail end of that right now. But it went to new heights. Microsoft implemented all kinds of new strategies. They dumped a ton of money into it, and it grew like crazy to the tune of 810 million users. There was somewhere around close to half that about 3 years ago. So obviously the platform is not going anywhere. It's a fantastic place to find your next top talent. And I'm excited to talk about it today. So I thought, Tom, this stat was really interesting. I have just 4 or 5 quick ones. Over 12 million members are signaling their availability to work, right? So on your LinkedIn profile, you can say that you're open to conversations with recruiters or about new opportunities. And I think that's what it says, open to new employment opportunities. 12 million people have enabled that feature, which I always thought was kind of interesting. It might be a little awkward if I put that on today. People I work with might be like, what's going on over there? but 12 million people have decided to do that.
And I think LinkedIn's done a great job, because it used to just be a simple button you push. Now they took it a step further. Now you can put in what kind of job you're looking for, what salary, and kind of relay what you're looking for. So that, I think they've done a great job of really enabling people to really critique what they're looking for.
Awesome. And there's actually also open to charitable boards and things like that as well, right? So that's kind of neat. If you're looking to get more involved in your community, maybe sit on a board in your area, there's also a place where you can signal that you're open to those conversations as well. So this is absolutely a career growth center. 60% nearly of LinkedIn's users are between 25 and 34. This has been a massive shift over the last few years. We saw all social platforms as like certain age groups, right? We would think of Instagram and it's like, oh, that's the kids, and like Facebook, oh, it's a little bit more adults. And then LinkedIn, oh, that's like the, professionals, seasoned professionals. And now look at that shift, almost 60%. So over half of all of LinkedIn's users are between those ages of 25 to 34. And they're really looking for career growth at this point. I'd be willing to bet that a lot of those 12 million is in this age range that's really out there looking for what is going to be next in their career and hopefully their home. 6 people are hired through LinkedIn every single minute. This one blew my mind. So every minute there are 6 people that are finding their next stop, or hopefully maybe their future home in their career through LinkedIn. And then one more, every second there are 77 job applications submitted on LinkedIn. They've made it so easy to create an online resume and be able to submit that for the jobs that really make most sense to you. They're helping to match make you. So 77 every second applications submitted. Recruiters unite. This one will speak to your heart, Tom. Approximately 87% of recruiters are regularly using LinkedIn, and there are more than 14 million open positions. The last I looked when I created this slide deck, and 50,000 of those are remote. And that's just the United States alone. So obviously, it's following the trends of what we're doing as far as there's a lot more remote than there used to be prior to the pandemic. But 87% of recruiters using it, 14 million open positions listed right now, and 50,000 of those are remote positions in the United States. So obviously, LinkedIn is the place to be. This is the last one. And wow, this is a lot. 40 million people are searching for jobs on LinkedIn each and every week. 40 million talented people right here in the US are searching for jobs on LinkedIn every single week. So obviously this is the place to be. I'd be remiss again if I didn't say LinkedIn is all about networking. It's about professional networking and connecting. So here is my QR code. Here is Tom's. If you'd like to connect with us, please scan those. We'd love to connect. And with that, I am going to, if it's okay with you, Tom, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to show how I've been searching recently in the most simplest of ways, and then we'll transition into how the pros do it. You want to go that route?
Sounds good to me.
Cool. So I'm going to show you exactly how I recently was in the market to start growing the MTD program across the country. It's been working really well. So we're so excited to have some awesome new people coming on board, by the way. You guys will be hearing about that soon. Yeah, see that look on Tom's face. I am excited for the future of this program. But when I was looking for somebody, I started just kind of poking around on LinkedIn myself. So I started looking at title insurance, sales, and marketing. When I searched that, it's pretty amazing. You get all kinds of different things, but some people start to come up. So I searched for that, and then I clicked on people, right? And then I was thinking, okay, well, there's some specific areas that I want to go into that we really could use somebody. So I started going to location, and say I were to put in Florida. Isn't it funny how like you forget how to type when people are watching you type in real time? Like,
Yeah.
So if I wanted to do Florida and say Texas. So I now have pulled up people who title insurance, sales, and marketing are a part of their profile. Those are some of the most heavily weighted things on their profile. And I've gone into those locations. If I wanted to, I could go into people that, you know what, maybe these are people that I want to have some kind of a warm connection with, right? So I'm just either connected to them already, or maybe am connected by the second power, right? The Matthew McConaughey, the connected by 6 or whatever. So I start to roll out and you see these people, right? So this is kind of how I have gone to be able to go in and find some people to connect with. Here's Kimberly. She's at WFG. Hey, Kimberly, if you're watching this, you should accept my connection request. You haven't accepted it yet. So, but that is the way that I, as a free user, I don't have an upgraded version. This is how I have gone in to look. And again, you know, I did it by keywords. I did it by connection so that I'd have somewhat of a warm connection with them. And then I broke it down by location. This is a really simple way to do that. And I actually had some luck connecting with great people using this strategy. But Tom, I know this is kind of the easy, very basic way to do it. What I'd love for you to do is walk us through how the pros do it. So if you wouldn't mind sharing your screen, I'm excited to have you walk us through. And I was going to mention to everybody that's on too, that number has continued to grow. Welcome everybody that's here. If you have any questions as Tom is going, I'm going to kind of work as a moderator. And so I'm going to ask some questions, but if you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat below and we will get those answered during this presentation. So Tom, why don't you share your screen, log into LinkedIn and take us for a little bit of a spin.
You got it, my friend. So, can you let me share? Let's see
Oh,
here.
so sorry about that.
No worries, no worries. And while we're pulling this up,
there you go.
It's very important nowadays with the way things are going. It's not like I mentioned to Sam, like you don't just post the job out there and hope for people. You really gotta go out there and get the people. And this is one of the ways to do it, is really utilizing its LinkedIn Recruiter Lite. It's about $110 a month and there's no contract. So you could, if you hit a time where you're just extremely busy and have a lot of things going on and you need more people, you can just sign up for a month and utilize it. So this is generally the dashboard. We'll just go back to here. And this is where I have like all my projects that I'm working on. Obviously I was helping Sam do his MTD. So I was able to create this project. And what this does is it keeps track of all your candidates. And what you can do is basically change the stage. So if you reached out to them uncontacted, they replied. That way you're not reaching out to the same people over and over again. So it's big thing is it helps you keep organized. And also like we'll tell you activity, what their experience is and everything like this. The biggest thing too is the in-mail, being able to reach out to them. Okay. So Sam, with yours, you can't reach out to anybody that is basically a second connection or higher, correct? Is that
right? Yeah, I would have to connect and then wait for them to accept my connection before I could message them or anything with my account.
okay? Got it. Got it. All right. And so with this, I can reach out to anybody that's a third connection or basically first, second, or third. And what I can do is I can send them an email, and then that way they would be able to respond and basically connect with them. So that's one way that this really utilize this, is using the email. Now, how do we create a project? So basically you'll come in, create a name. So we'll say Sam's MTD, and then the project description will be Mark.
Hopefully you can type better than I can when people are watching.
I know.
On.
And then who will you be trying to hire? Job title, marketing.
So it's populating some of that.
Yeah. So you can like pick all these, and then location, it can be like, and then you can basically pick the seniority level. So whether you're looking for like a mid-level, senior level, whatever. So we'll say mid senior level, and then this would be for the company. So over here, it will tell you that there's 2.9 million people with that specific job title. 39,000 plus in a specific location, that 20,000 meet our requirements. So we'll create that project. Okay. Now, we want to build a pipeline. So this is where it gets fun. So we have a marketing manager. Now this is where we can really critique it. Okay. So we can add additional job titles. So say current, past, I always keep that as current or past. And then let's see, marketing director.
Wow. And so it's just dialing in more.
Yeah. And then once you get that, you can pick some more that you don't even think about, like, oh, okay, regional director of sales and marketing. So it really auto-populates to help you grow that. So you can then critique that. Also, you can dial in location. So say you have a specific area, say Cape Coral, forgot the E, Florida. So that will narrow it down to kind of keep people where you're at specifically. So Fort Myers, North Fort Myers. So you can add, and it will tell you how many people are in that area. So it will help you build your results.
Yeah.
You keep going down, workplace types, on-site, remote, see who's open to remote, hybrid, stuff like that. So you can fine tune it. So basically what Sam has done is really like taking it from what he's done to fine tune it. And then you can look at the skills and assessment. So say I want somebody with social media, marketing, let's say public relations.
Yeah.
Public speaking.
Like website development.
Yeah. So like I can all digital strategy, all that, you can fine tune it. So we started at like 40,000 results. So we're fine tuning it down to what we're looking for. Media relations, stuff like that. Okay. So, and then you can look at companies, and I'm going to show you something in a second that really shows you how you can pinpoint some other companies. But yeah, you can go to schools, your graduation, industry specific.
So you can really dial in. So if you in industries there, like if you did real estate, title insurance, the mortgage industry, if you added those, like you're going to find people that, one thing I talk to a lot of people about is it's hard to, you don't always want to bring in somebody that's been doing this job forever because you bring in their habits as well. But we do want to bring in somebody that's familiar with the industry, right? At least kind of knows a little bit about the industry and what we do. It makes life a little bit easier. So there's the great spot. So what happens, Tom, if we go ahead and do that on industries, like add real estate,
so that finds it basically.
Title.
So we'll take it down to 600.
Wow, look at that. So we started with 40,000, and now we've gotten down to under 1,000.
Yeah. So, and then there you go. So there's 670. That's a good, that are knowledgeable with your industry and have that marketing. And then if you're particular, some people are particular, they want schools that have a great marketing program. You can add that school in here, right? So, and then the seniority keywords. So if you're, I always recommend learn Boolean searches, because if you take those Booleans and really critique them, those will help you as well. So definitely you can put those in there as well. So
those of us that are not super familiar with recruiting, can you give us a breakdown of what Boolean search means?
Absolutely. Boolean search is basically an algebra equation. So basically it will know how, like, you add up parentheses and you always do that first. So when you put things in parentheses, it knows to search title, insurance. If you didn't have those, say I just put title and insurance, it would search title and insurance. So you want them combined. So it will pull insurance like Geico and stuff like that. So we want title insurance. So when you do that, it basically
groups it.
Fine-tunes fine-tunes the search. So title insurance or real estate. That would create a search for people that have title insurance or real estate. So if you did title insurance and real estate, that would search for people that have both, and that will basically fine-tune. Or if you want to broader capture, title insurance or real estate. So those are kind of things.
Tom, is there a way when you're searching, like I'm nerding out on this. You provided me with a bunch of awesome resumes when we were talking about this earlier.
Yeah.
I didn't get to actually see it happen. Is there a way, like under advanced search or somewhere else, where you can like break down to people that have listed that they're open to new opportunities right now? Is there a way to do that?
There is. So right here,
okay.
It shows 143 that are open to work. Now this is the downfall with Recruiter Lite.
Okay.
You got to upgrade to that recruiter seat.
Okay.
But I can show that there's more. It's going to pull the people that are more open to work and more likely to respond.
And the neat thing, and I put this in the chat responding to somebody, I think the neat thing too is you said that this stuff is like month to month, right? There's no long-term commitment if you upgrade your account to Recruiter. So like if you want to use it for 30 days and go crazy recruiting and you fill that position, it's not like you're going to have to spend the money for a year. So Recruiter Lite, Tom, what's the approximate cost for this version?
It is $110 a month. If you sign up for a year, it's a little bit less, but honestly, for $110, if you have like a bunch of positions due for a month, I guarantee you'll be able to get a lot out of it.
Yeah,
sure.
Awesome. Very cool. I love that it's month to month. I mean, they've made it very friendly for small business, so I'm not having to spend like $1,000 or something.
Exactly. And now this is it's pretty advanced for what this is. I've used Recruiter full blown where you get, and it's expensive. It's based on company size. It can be in upwards of $10,000 a seat. So one recruiter seat can cost the company $10,000. Obviously, there's a lot more to it, but for Recruiter Lite, unless you're hiring like 100 plus people a year, you do not need that. Like Recruiter Lite, if you're hiring maybe anywhere from 5 to 20, 30 a month, a year, this would be perfect, honestly. And then here's the best part. So this is something I like that LinkedIn started doing. You notice it throws in sourcing opportunities. So if it kind of keeps track of people being laid off and stuff like that. So there's some layoffs of Zillow. So you would add those companies in there. So it will help get people that are more in situations they may be looking for jobs. So that's a nice feature.
Yeah, that's a neat feature.
So
I see how specific it's getting. I love watching this. I'm such a nerd.
No, exactly. So say we have somebody like let's see if I can. if I can pull myself up. All right. Say I wanted to find, say my boss Cindy says, I love Tom. He is the perfect candidate, which I'm sure she says all the time.
Of course, she's saying that probably right now as she's watching. She's there. Hey.
There we go. So she's like, I want to find more Tom. I want to find those attributes. So you can go in here and I'll go back to where it was. So if you go to your Recruiter Lite, maybe search by ideal candidate. And we'll open that.
So that's going to take all of your points from your profile, like your experience, your education, all of those things, and pull people similar to you.
So it's basically going to pull all my stuff.
Wow.
Automatically, boom, and pull these people up. So
that's crazy.
Right? So that's a great resource. So it's going to have that. Also, it's going to save your searches. So I have a saved search here. Here's my Boolean that I built for yours. So all this information saved, so you don't have to go back and re-enter it. And the nice thing too is you can add alerts to this. So you get updates when new people are coming about. So you're going to keep on top of it. So it's going to keep searching while you're not searching.
Wow.
So it's a cool thing.
And how do those results as they come in, as new people enter that pipeline, how do those get delivered to you? Is it just a notification on LinkedIn? Does it email you? What does that look like?
So great question. So here's it's going to have review recommended matches. So say here's one that we did for you, review recommended matches. Here they come. So these are the new ones that came through, and it's just boom. So I can save it to the pipeline. I can contact them. I can send a message. I can add a note. Another thing too is you can actually add people. It's an additional cost, but you can say I wanted to share it with you, and you had Recruiter Lite. I'll share it with you. I could save it as an PDF to send, like I sent to you, Sam.
Right.
Or my favorite feature, find more people like.
Oh wow.
So
yeah, so when you find one that looks like they're ideal there, it's the same similarly, right? Like wow.
Yeah, so here, say we'll say Jeff is the perfect one. We want to look for more like Jeff. Find more people like, and it's going to generate that search for us. And there you go. Again, it automatically pulls all the information, the skills and assessment, companies, industries, all that are relevant. It's going to pull, and it's going to find 149 people just like Jeff.
So typically speaking, when you from start to finish, if you start one of these, how long? I mean, we just watched you do it in real time, so it's literally a matter of a few minutes to get the basic project set up, and then you probably take another few minutes really dialing in. And what kind of response rates do you have when you go in and you go ahead and email that person or in-mail that person?
Great question. There's a report for that. So what's nice about LinkedIn Recruiter Lite is obviously I didn't send any in-mails. I don't do a lot of that just because it's not really my whole thing.
Helping other people, right? Yeah.
Right. So if you were to send an in-mail, you're going to see how many emails were sent, how many accepted, how many declined. So that will tell you how much is being received, what's going on. I will say that if you're emailing them, if you're sending a message, they're getting 500 messages as well. Here's the ticket. You got to be creative. So what I mean by that is just don't say, hey, opening, want to talk to you about it. Get creative, and really sell them. That's the big thing with passive candidates that I've learned in the past is being funny, being personable, sending videos, stuff like that. With in-mail and stuff, you can do a lot and change the subject. And I would definitely research on Google. There's a bunch of email templates that you can send to candidates.
I love what you just said about videos, right? So can you, so the in-mail, if you were to select a candidate and go ahead and click on that mail or whatever, is it like a typical LinkedIn message where you can do whatever you want? It could be a photo or a video, or does it have to be, okay. I love that, because just imagine, all right, so how many times do we get hit up by, maybe it's a recruiter, maybe it's somebody trying to sell us something, they drop in our in-mail right away, and then all it is a bunch of black words on a white screen, and I probably don't even read it. I don't know this person. So I love the idea of saying, in this case, what is this, Danielle? So, hey, Danielle, my name is Sam Trimble. I know I'm sliding into your in-mail and you don't even know who I am. That said, I found you through a search. I think you could be a great fit for an awesome opportunity with our company. Would love to hop on a quick Zoom. Drop me a line back if you have any interest in doing that. Or maybe you know somebody else that has a similar skill set. I'd love to meet them too. Have a great day. We'll talk soon. She's going to respond to that.
Bingo.
Yeah.
And then
I love that.
Here's the thing too, is I hate saying do the cookie cutter thing, the like evergreen messages, but you can save the template. So I like doing them for each person. I know it takes a little longer, but you make them more personal. My take, but if you're pressed for time, you can use templates, but I don't recommend it. I recommend doing it personally for each person.
I love just taking it the next level. We all have cameras, this is built into my laptop. Like, I really think, because the chances of saying no to a face that's talking to you, that looks you in the eye, that says your name, it's so much harder to ignore that. Right. So that's awesome. Love it.
And that's it. And also you can post a job.
Okay.
So if you want to do post a job, you can put ABC company, bank teller, what the hybrid, remote, location, functions, job description, all that. And then this is the cool part. And I always recommend, and Sam, you touched on this, making it simple to apply. It's too tight of a labor market to have, you got to fill this out, you got to fill that out. I'm done. You lost me. Make it as simple as possible. You can send them to your website to apply, or you can have them send their profile and resume to your email directly. So that you can do that.
I see. Sorry, go ahead.
No, and you can require them to attach a resume. So they have to attach a resume for the message to be sent.
Joanne asked a good question. She said, with all the software viruses, do you feel the candidate will open a video? I don't open anything if I don't know the sender. And I was just typing, the open rates of InMail are through the roof for the most part. Yep. And so, because it's not a standalone email that's sliding into your email from somebody you don't know with a random video or something like that. The great thing about InMail, or even on Facebook or Instagram or something like that, is when it comes from a profile, you can see the profile and if it's a real person or not right off the bat. And then, I can't imagine, especially if I'm saying that person's name, I used to always do the whiteboard trick, like, hey, Tom, like click watch or whatever. But I think, Joanne, like, this is the great place for that, because open rates of InMail are through the roof compared to other things.
Exactly. Like, honestly, and to that question is, I'd rather open one from InMail than if you sent me one from Tom Baughman at WFG Title. Like, I would trust that one. And what's cool is when you send an InMail, they'll get a message in LinkedIn, and they get it so if whatever email is assigned to their LinkedIn account. So it's going to go to that email, and you're going to get a message on LinkedIn. So it just kind of reassures it that this is a good thing. It's an okay email.
So Tom, if somebody wants to hop off this and take Recruiter Lite for a spin, how do they subscribe to this? Where do they go on LinkedIn? Should they just Google LinkedIn Recruiter Lite, or what does that look like?
Absolutely. So LinkedIn Recruiter Lite, I'm going to put the link in the chat for us.
Awesome. In today's world, we have to recruit smarter, not harder. And it seems to me they've really, this is opening up a whole new kind of value prop for LinkedIn in my mind. Like, I've never seen how simple they've made this and how detailed they've made it. And it's like, I work on advertising platforms, right? And they've made that really cool on LinkedIn and Facebook and Instagram and all that. But to be able to sit here and in 5 or 10 minutes, be able to narrow down in that way, industry specific, experience specific, down to where, if you're a huge fan of, Ohio State University and you're like, we want all Ohio State people, you could do that. Like, right. I mean, it's pretty amazing. So if there was, there you go. So there's that homepage. Your first month is free. That's pretty cool. And then it's month to month. So if you want to use it for a couple months and then turn it off, it's not like it's going to be sucking you dry with costs. So I really don't think there's a reason not to at least try this.
Yeah, exactly. And I think the biggest feature really is the in-mail, because it does give you that connection. And the other thing too is, even outside of Recruiter Lite, build the network. And when you connect with people, just say, hey, just looking to connect. I just want to build my network within the industry. I see we're in the same industry. I want to stay connected, and nothing wrong with that. And I will say, don't try to sell people right off the bat. Usually people that do that on LinkedIn, for me, puts a bad taste in my mouth. But yeah, I always recommend
build a relationship.
Build that relationship, build that network. That's what it's for. It's just like going to a networking event. You want to build that network, and it's cool what you learn and you see from growing that network. So I highly recommend doing that. And then one other piece would be active. Be active with it. This isn't I will say passive recruiting was it's the hardest thing in recruiting, because you're trying to get people that aren't really looking to come work with you. It takes time. It's going to take a lot of effort, and you just got to get creative and be focused on showing the highlight of why people should work for you.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think for me and my personality, and based on, one of the best recruiters I know, in addition to you, Tom, is Justin Tucker, and so he recruited me. He recruited a lot of people that are here. And at the end of the day, he connects with those people on their social medias, gets to know them a little bit. They get to know him. They get to know his fluffy dog. They get to know his love for pizza. So by the time they connect, there's already some semblance of familiarity there. And it's now a warm conversation. It's not a cold conversation. And right. I love, by the way, that Nicole came up. I met her in Florida when I was down there with Jen Giles completely. Oh, okay. So that's so hilarious that she's there. But I think, for me, what I would be thinking if I'm using this is I'm taking some of these top candidates that I think would be good. I'm probably dropping them some in-mail. I would probably use video just because I think it gets a response. That said, if you're not comfortable, I totally get it. You should be. And we have classes for that. So let us know. Let your sales rep know if you want to do a class on video. Your MTDs can help you out. But I'm also probably going and connecting with them, right? I may even find them on Facebook and connect with them there. At the end of the day, this is a multifaceted approach. This is going to give you a great base layer of people. And then it's really up to us to get to know them a little bit and use all the tools at our disposal, be it in-mail, be it Facebook, be it Instagram, be it, snail mail. I mean, Tucker would drop notes in the mail to me from time to time and send me little things, and he was front of mind. And so I love that you were able to show us around this quickly and this concisely. Is there any closing thoughts that you have before we sign off?
Just that it takes time. Mind you, I've been a recruit. I recruited for 7+ years, and it was a lot of trial and error. It's not easy, especially in today when the tight labor market's so tight. Be patient and remember that you got to kind of go to the candidate and show why it is so great to work for you, and just be patient.
So I'm going to share my screen one more time, Tom, if you don't mind. And these QR codes link to both of our contact information. So if you'd like to go a little bit deeper into this stuff or have any specific questions that were not answered today in the Q&A or the chat, scan this, reach out to Tom, reach out to myself, and we would love to help. Thank you so much, Tom, for this. As a nerd, that is so cool, man. I mean, you sent me some resumes and I didn't know exactly where they came from and how you did it, but to be able to see it now is pretty awesome. And it's just another tool in our belt. So thank you so much. April, you're very welcome. Thank you for being here. Thanks to everyone who was here. I will include a copy of the presentation the little slide deck with the stats, a recording of this in a follow-up email, along with both of our contact information. So thank you all for being here. Thank you for your support of WFG and West. We truly appreciate you. And Tom, man, the best is yet to come, brother. Thanks for sharing this with us.
Absolutely. My pleasure. Thank you all for joining us.
All right, everybody. Have a great day, and we'll talk to you all very soon. Adios.
Bye, guys.